Why are wine bottles almost always 750 milliliters? If you've ever wondered why such an oddly specific volume is the standard, you're not alone. Though it may seem arbitrary at first, the answer actually lies at the intersection of history, practicality, and even a bit of ancient myth. Let's unravel this story by traveling back in time to the 18th century. During this period, many of the practices around winemaking and consumption that we recognize today were being standardized. The story begins in the heart of wine culture, Europe. Glass blowing was an important craft in the 18th century, with glass bottles gradually replacing wooden barrels for storing and transporting wine. But making glass bottles of consistent size and shape was no small feat, particularly with the limited technology of the time. One plausible reason for the 750 ml standard comes from the traditional glassblowing method. A skilled glassblower can blow about one bottle of this size in one exhalation. While this might sound whimsical, it links the capacity of the human lung to the design of an everyday object. This practical consideration meant that bottles of roughly 750 ml could be produced with some consistency and represented an efficient size for craft and commerce. Now, let's consider trade and commerce, which were vastly different centuries ago compared to now. By the 19th century, the British had established themselves as major stakeholders in the global wine market, importing vast quantities of wine from regions like Bordeaux and Burgundy in France, and they favored storing their wine in cases of a dozen. Here's another fundamental twist. The imperial gallon, used in Britain, was equivalent to 54,609 liters. When divided into 6 equals, this becomes almost exactly 750 milliliters per unit. As a result, 12 bottles at 750 ml fit neatly into a 9-liter case, which also happens to round off to 2 imperial gallons. This alignment with British customs proved influential, helping standardize the 750 ml bottle. In terms of consumption, a bottle sizing that equates to 5 standard serving glasses makes a lot of sense for both sharing at meals and promotion among patrons. Wine, particularly in French culture, is often about the communal experience. 5 servings ensure a moderate amount for a group, making it well suited for dining protocols and the various etiquettes in place during meals. Before global standards, regional variations were common, with local regulations and glass-blowing techniques producing differing bottle sizes. For instance, Italian wines at one point were offered in different capacity bottles, but globalization and trade standardization have aligned these to the 750 ml norm for consistency in the international market. By the 20th century, international commerce required more consistent packaging standards to accommodate wine from every part of the globe. In the 1970s, when European Economic Community directives aimed at harmonizing food and beverage trade laws came into effect, the 750 ml bottle was given widespread legal backing, cementing its position as the universal wine container. This was further solidified by the fact that wine produced in other parts of the world, such as California, Chile, or Australia, would be measured against traditional European units for simplicity. Now, onto something more unexpected. Have you ever wondered about wine's mysterious aura and its ties to cultural and symbolic associations with numbers? In ancient times, number mysticism was common. The number 7 often symbolized completion or perfection in various cultures. Some propose that in crafting a 750 ml bottle, the number 7 plays an unspoken role, offering an allegorical nod towards this cultural symbolism. Sticking with history, it's worth admiring how much of our past is imprinted in our everyday life. The cultural transmission of both glassware and alcohol has intertwined itself into cultural, economic, and social fabrics. The lives of people from Roman times right up to the modern period reflect a persistent desire for moderation, practicality, and shared communal joy, all principles captured by the crafting and adoption of the standard wine bottle size. One vivid example is the way wine bottles are presented in marketing and communication. The look and feel of a 750 ml bottle are just the right balance for showcasing a label, offering tactile satisfaction, and fitting well into storage racks and transport crates. Imagine walking through a wine cellar or a supermarket aisle. These rows of 750 ml bottles are a visual echo, the subtle symphony from bygone eras of craftsmanship and tradition. Their uniformity isn't just convenient for logistics, but also aesthetically satisfying and practical for consumers, leading to intuitive expectations for size, servings, and pricing. Wine bottle shapes also come into the picture here. The Burgundy bottle, the Bordeaux bottle, and others each have distinctive profiles alongside their 750 ml content, but are shaped differently depending on tradition and the type of wine they hold. These shapes have evolved over hundreds of years to meet the needs of different grape varieties, fermentation methods, and aging requirements, adding another layer of cultural heritage to the humble bottle. Then there's the sustainability angle. Wine enthusiasts and manufacturers alike have been considering the ecological footprint of the industry. The established norm of 750 ml saves on materials and energy, and reforms aimed at making production processes more resource efficient while still maintaining the classic bottle structure help balance modern environmental concerns with traditional demands. Speaking of the environment, climate change has had effects on wine production, impacting everything from grape growing to wine composition. Yet, despite these variations in how and where wine is produced, the demand for the ubiquitous 750 ml bottle remains strong, a constant in a period of change. The resilience of this form factor speaks to its efficiency in every part of the supply chain, from vineyard to table. Packaging experts constantly review whether alternative sizes could be more sustainable or suitable, but every review brings the realization that tradition has already guided us to a near-optimal solution. It's also interesting to note how regulations and consumer expectations have moved around wine in the modern era. The 750 ml bottle became a de facto standard for various reasons, and these bundles of history shape our buying decisions. Consumers expect to find wine in this size, and regulations concerning portion controls reinforce consistency across the hospitality industry. Finally, the joy of gifting wine, whether to celebrate an occasion or merely to enjoy with friends over a meal, is neatly suited to a bottle that splits into 5 generous servings. From popping the cork to each pour, the 750 ml bottle becomes part of a ritual of conviviality and pleasure, a marker of both simplicity and sophistication. So next time you pick up a bottle of wine, consider the unseen hand of history that shapes even the smallest aspects of our everyday life. From 18th century glassblowers to international trade agreements, and from British imperial measurements to ancient symbolism, a wine bottle's 750 milliliters channel an extraordinary blend of past and present. It's more than just a vessel for wine. It's a reminder of our shared histories and a testament to cultural evolution. And that's why wine bottles are still 750 ml today. Follow History Oddities for more fascinating stories from the past.